space. I need some time to feel free.
What's happening, guys, and welcome back to another brand new Six Things We Learned. Arsenal were in FA Cup action. If you didn't know, if you've been sleeping under a rock, basically. This is a series where obviously I go through kind of 6 different things that I learned from the performance, where what I watched and what I saw, and obviously give my opinions on different kind of things, different things throughout the game that impacted or may not have impacted the game. Just stand out kind of key moments, areas, and performances. So, starting with number 1, star in the making. It's got to be, for me, stand-up performance by a country mile was Reiss Nelson's performance yesterday. I thought he looked amazing. Coming back from an injury as well, to play like that. Yes, you could say, it was only against Portsmouth, League 2, I think, opposition and whatever. But ultimately, as the saying goes, you can only beat what's in front of you. And Arsenal did that yesterday with relative ease. And I think a large part of that, being as he did get 2 assists in the goals that Arsenal obviously scored, winning 2-0. Everything that we did, all the good stuff that we did, or majority of the good stuff we did, came through Reiss Nelson. I think he deserves more credit probably for that performance than any other. I think it was a real coming of age performance in terms of, like, when you say breakout performances or whatever it may be, kind of like in anything similar, every young kind of generational talent has one of them performances, and I believe yesterday's performance could have and may well be Reiss Nelson's one for himself. So I think that was really, really important for Nelson himself to not only perform the way he did, but for him to sort of really kind of state a claim for that right wing position. Everything, it kind of reminded me, and maybe some of you as well. Leave your comments down below, fellow Arsenal fans. I'd love to hear how you thought yesterday's game went, and whatever. But he kind of reminded me of a young Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. So I know you're probably thinking, don't mention that guy's name or whatever. But I've not actually got any problem with Ox, because he left yes, he didn't leave in the greatest way, but to be quite honest, what is the greatest kind of way to leave? But yeah, I thought it was just amazing to see Nelson performing so amazingly. Moving on to number 2, it definitely had to be our number 22, Pablo Mari. Amazing debut yesterday. I think he did that. Probably Luiz's defensive partner do a lot more of the running and a lot more of the defending, but there was 2 or 3 times where he was caught one-on-one with one of their strikers, or whoever the striker may be at the time, because I know they did change quite a lot, and as did Arsenal as well, so it's, it shouldn't go without mentioning. But I feel it just showed that he's going to become, because he handled the atmosphere at Fratton Park, which actually, to be quite honest, it surprised me watching the game yesterday. And he handled it really, really with relative ease, and it showed he has all the key characteristics to become a very, very key personnel or personality, for a better word, within the dressing room. So I think that was, it was really key to sort of see, first of all, him performing the way he did, and second of all, as I say, the characteristics that were on display from Pablo. And I think that was it was a performance that couldn't not get any Arsenal fan excited. Third point would be, it's got to be down to youth, if I'm honest, because you only have to look at the lineup yesterday. My first kind of, not necessarily, my first reaction was, okay, he's obviously gone with youth, and that, we're no strangers to that, Arsenal. And I think that was it. As the game progressed, it showed who is able to handle the pressure, and everyone's allowed a bad game now and then, but it showed that the likes of Nketiah, Martinelli, Nelson, and Willock they're all more than capable of handling big games like yesterday's last night. And as I say, it proved a stroke of genius from Arteta the longer the game went on. I do think Willock didn't have too much of a in terms of the other three. The other three had more of an influence on the game, whereas Willock, I thought everything he was trying was just, it was one of them games where I think he just has to hold his hands up and say, it just wasn't my day, So kind of in terms of you just know when to own up and say, whatever I was trying, it's just not my day. So in keeping with the kind of youth and respect, I guess, because that's what number 4, what I've got, is the respect that Arteta showed the FA Cup, reminiscent of Arsenal under Arsene Wenger, with the mix of experience and youth, I guess, and it's a massive show of faith from the gaffer to these young players, to be able to have like the likes of Luiz and Socrates in the defence, with Mari and Saka playing at left back, and also Emi Martinez coming in obviously as the cup goalkeeper, but I think it just shows the type of manager that Arteta and also Arsene Wenger has an influence over Arteta. He's obviously, because Arteta played under Wenger, and obviously he was a club captain. He looked up to Wenger, and obviously probably knew he was going to go into management. And I guess that actually leads into number 5 even. Number 4 was the respect that Arteta showed the cup, and with doing that, showed a glimpse of the type of manager that he could go on to be. We never know. The last 2 is, again, I've mentioned this time and time again, and no doubt I would probably mention it, more times than I won't. Number 5 is how organised Arsenal were yesterday. From the first minute to the very last, I think Arsenal never really looked troubled, never really looked in danger of any kind. They, like all home teams, you have to expect the home team are going to have their fair share of possession. And in terms of Portsmouth, they had 20 minutes where they knocked on the door. Turns out no one was home, and just we weathered that storm and were able to hit them on the counter-attack quite a few times, hit them on the counter-attack twice, and I say counter-attack-ish, but hit them when they perhaps were about to hit us, maybe. So, make of that what you will. But I think the organisation from Arteta installing that philosophy within the side, as I mentioned in the last point, having Socrates and Luiz in the defence, Socrates playing right back, but Luiz obviously partnering Mari in the heart of the defence, and also Saka playing at left back. I think that just encapsulates how and embodies everything that Arsenal aim to be, and have been over years gone by. And that's what we are known for, having an amazing academy. And I think, it was vital that we got the win, because it keeps our season alive for silverware, and obviously gives Arteta a chance to win the FA Cup in his first managerial season at Arsenal. Last, 6th, by no means least, final point being, I had an overwhelming feeling of positivity at basically after last week's heartbreaking defeat, because yes, we forget it was only last week that Arsenal crashed out of Europe. Sorry, Arsenal fans, I had to mention it. But wrapping this last point up really quick, it gave the travelling fans that went down to the south coast something to smile about on their journey home back to the capital, and getting into the next round was vital, as I said, to keep Arsenal's season alive. I think in doing so, as I say, where, to be quite honest, top 4 is not out of the question, and anyone that believes it is, probably, you should probably take a look at the table. But we win our next game, which is at home against West Ham, and I know they're coming off of a really good win last week, but it's it's all back on. It's been your boy. It's been a pleasure. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. No doubt I'll be back. Love you guys. Keep supporting your boy. Like, share, subscribe, heart, and comment all your thoughts. Arsenal fans, get involved. Start a conversation down below. Peace.